Yo, man, shout out my boy, man. We here live at the real estate seminar, man. The best money in the world, man. You gotta keep hustling, you gotta keep working. We're gonna do this shit forever. You know what I'm saying? Real estate money, the best money. Shout out to my bro. Man, we getting this business done. Money.
Hello guys, welcome. First time real estate investor Daquan Jones here, and I just want to share some updates about everything that went on in the seminar. Today was an amazing experience, by the way. Shout out to DJ Envy, shout out to Flipping House, and and shout out to everybody, all the vendors that was there. It was an amazing experience, and I enjoyed every moment of it. So I just want to touch base on certain things and show you guys more about the and pretty much what I wanted to talk about is the whole motivational portion of investing and building our communities up. Guys, what makes this very, very important to me and everyone else that it's not just about making money. Anybody can make money, but it's mostly about just helping building our communities up, because there's so many places that's $1 million homes which we used to have, and groups of people came in, they bought it, and now they're doing something that we're just learning. Guys, this is very important because some people feel like you can't do it. Some people feel like it's impossible to do. Guys, this is very, very, very possible. And all you need, honestly, is two major things. And you probably can answer this before I can tell you. That's credit and income. Those two major things in this business, actually in the world, you guys could kind of pretty much accomplish a lot. And when it comes to real estate and investing in properties, that's the two most major things you way to start, and that's very important in investing in real estate. So when it comes to credit, I spoke about my last video with the new changes in the upcoming year. Guys, have credit. You want to have good credit, you want to have good history, and you guys know how everything plays out when it comes to FICO score and the whole algorithm. When it comes to having income, banks won't approve you without an income. You need monthly income. You need ways to show these guys that you're able to afford whatever you're getting into. And there's so many things I want to talk about, but I just want to give you guys an update on the seminar. The seminar was great. Cesar, he was the main guy. Pretty much everything that he went through, he kind of, he honestly, he didn't have to do any of that, but he did it because he wanted to help and he wanted to teach people. For him to just, spend his time teaching us on how to invest is an amazing thing. And shout out to DJ Envy, because DJ Envy got a lot of jobs. He knows his time, come in to help other people out, man. His time could be used making money. So shout out to DJ Envy, and like I said, everyone that was there, it was an amazing experience. Cesar, but just, just the way he came up, just his strategy and marketing, his strategy and, flipping houses, and also buying rental properties. Something like that is motivation to me, and I'm pretty sure it's motivation to everyone else. When he was just spitting out numbers and how much he was making from these rental properties, something like that is just, he does motivation dollars off of one flip. This guy was making $300,000 off of one flip, and his monthly income, just $300,000 off all his rental units. So these things is very, very amazing. Just hearing that and hearing how realistic it is just, it's motivation. And we all can do it. As you can see, I'm in that process right now. And in a couple of years, hopefully my channel grows, and hopefully you guys could see that, somebody like me who just started off can actually, flip houses. Like I said, I want to give a shout out to everybody. I want to give a shout out to the vendors and everybody that was there. This was a great experience. Hopefully we can do it again. I enjoyed every moment of it. And like I said, guys, this is very, very possible for anybody to do. It's not impossible. You need two things, two major things: credit and income. Those two things will get you a lot in this world. And like I said, when it comes to real estate, that's what you need. Me personally, I'm working on buying my first property, and this first property will be my investment. And my whole YouTube channel, which is showing you guys and teaching you guys more about the whole real estate business. So my next video, I want to talk about equity, and I'm going to talk about how that's very, very important, which is why I'm doing rental properties rather than flipping houses. Equity is very important, guys, and that's going to be my major topic. And so just keep that in mind. Just make sure if you want to flip it, you might get money right in there, but you don't hold on to that equity. You don't hold on to that investment. You get the $170,000, however much money you get. Rentals, You guys got, property. You guys got investments that maybe you can pass down to your kids, and over time you build equity. So that's very important. It's very indecisive, and it worked out. I learned a lot, and I'm glad. I'm actually honored to share a lot. So guys, I'm gonna wrap this video up. Subscribe to my channel if you like what I do. Give this video a thumbs up. And if you have any questions, you guys know you can always send me a message on Instagram, Daquan_McCoy, and you can also leave a comment in this video. So I'm gonna wrap this up. Thank you.
Yeah, because I was like, whatever, I don't believe him. So he invited me to his office one day. Now this is all organic. We didn't know each other. He just asked about what I was doing, and he brought me to his office. I went to his office. He said, I want to show you some cribs. He said, I'm going to show you some houses in Patterson. Anybody here from Patterson and know about Patterson? So I go to his crib, and I'm like, mind you, I'm a kid from Queens, so I'm like, I'll follow you. You drive, and I'll follow your car. I didn't know him. I was like, shit, I'm a kid from Queens. He was like, nah, I want you to get in my car. My wife looked at me and was like, you better not go in that car. So I got in the car. We got in the car. I said, all right, we got to try. The first house we walk into was that.
Raise your hands. Who here checked their credit score within the last 30 days? Who here hasn't checked their credit score? Who here can't remember the last time they checked their credit? Good. So we have a good crowd, a couple people. So we have a good crowd of people that have, they know about their credit. So one thing I like to tell people about credit repair, right? Obviously, it's not a mystery. Credit repair is one of those things out there that it's either a scam, it's either somebody took your money and ran, or somebody did a good job. Who here has ever had either a bad experience or know someone that's had a bad experience with credit repair, where somebody took your money and just dipped and just left? No, so that's good. So the industry's cleaning up, right? So that's 10% of your credit score's increase, right? That's 55 points. Now I'm going to reverse it. I'm going to go back with the thing that affects your credit score the most, because a lot of people think inquiries affect your credit. It doesn't. It's only 10%. So if a lender has to pull your credit, let them pull it. Don't tell them, I'm going to mess my credit up. But you have a collection, a charge-off, a repo, and you haven't paid your bills in 8 months, but you're worried about an inquiry. Right? It's crazy. It's crazy. So the first thing that affects your credit score the most is payment history. Right? 35% of your credit score is payment history. That's 192.5 points. Right? So why does that matter so much? Because the lender wants to know, listen, if I lend you money, are you going to pay me back? If you lend him $10 and he don't pay, you're going to lend him $10 again? Like, listen, man, you ain't paid me back 3 months ago. I'm still waiting for my money. Right. That's good then. So you want to make sure that 35% of your credit score, 192.5 points, that's what's affected by payment history. So if you're late one time, your credit score can drop 100 points. Why are you worried about an inquiry when you're not paying your bills? Right? The next category is debt utilization, which is 30% of your credit score is affected by how much debt you owe in relation to how much limits you have. So if you have a $10,000 credit card and you have a balance of $5,000, you're at 50% utilization. That affects 30% of your credit score, which is 165 points. So can you see how if you max out your credit card and if you're late, that could easily affect your credit score 300 points. You can easily go from a 750 all the way to a high 500 just by being late and maxing your credit card at one time. So just make sure you're on time, right? Make sure you're not maxing your credit cards out. Does anybody here know what the ideal the ideal limit is, or the ideal balance to have your credit card to maximize your points to get the full 165 points? Nope. Nope. 1%. 1%. If you have if you have a zero balance on your credit cards, you will not gain the full 165 points. If you have it at 1%, you'll gain the full value. Because the credit is, remember, it's a game, right? So they want to say that you're actually using the card. So if you're at 1%, the ideal rate is 1 to 7. People usually say 10 to 20 or 10 to 30. Your credit score is still going to be affected. Like, man, I'm at 700. Why is my score not going up? Pay it to 1%, it'll shoot up to like 760. That one little trick. Remember, it's all a game, right? The next category is 15% of your credit score is time and file, right? So the younger you start your credit, the better credit you're going to have down the road. So if you have a kid that's 18, 17, whatever the case is, my little sister just went to college. She has about an 810 credit score because I had my mom add her to like 5 credit cards as an authorized user. and then she got her own credit card, right? So 15% of your credit score, which is about 85 points, that's conducive to how long 85 points. Now that doesn't mean, hey, I need a mortgage, let me just go to First Alliance, get a mortgage, right? But if you have a mortgage, an auto loan, and a credit card, that will give you the full 55 points. So you can see how easily you can manipulate your credit score, right? It's very easy, very, very easy.
This is also something very important going to the other side. In order for you to sell your flip to someone who has an FHA loan, and this is something you're going to want to know, there's a 91-day waiting period from the time that your deed is recorded to the time that you could write that contract. All right? So when you get that buyer, you're like, oh my God, my flip isn't even finished. It's only been 45 days, and this guy wants to buy it. I'll be done by Friday. This is awesome. You can't write that contract for another month and a half. And then it's going to be another month until you can close it. So that's something really important when you do have that flip and you have someone coming with that offer, that you remember that. So, okay, you know, FHA is great, but on that other side, when you're an investor trying to sell that property, that's, you know, a little bit of a challenge when it comes to that point. You have to get someone with cash or conventional. All right? Now, the beauty of this is that if you have a bankruptcy, there's only a 2-year waiting period until you can get a loan like this. The FHA 203K lets you get the money to fix the house, okay? So this is going to give you the loan to buy the house, and it's also going to give you the money that you need in order to do your repairs. There are 2 different types. This one that we have up here is the limited. The limited allows you to get up to $35,000 with a minimum of $5,000. All the 203Ks are a minimum of $5,000. All right? Now, the limited 203K, the only difference, aside from the limited amount of money, is that you can't do anything structural. You can't do things like knock down walls or move staircases or things like that when you have this loan. Oh, you're good? All right. And now, what you also need to know about FHA loans is that you can receive your down payment as a gift from an immediate family member. So let's say, for example, you're purchasing a house, I need to see your bank statements. But you don't necessarily have that in there, but you say, hey, you know what? My mom's gonna give me the money. And that's perfectly fine. All right? And we love that. Mom is great if she can give us that down payment. All right? So with the 203K limited, also another difference between the 203K full, which is the one that gives you more than $35,000, is that you're going to get half of the repair money at closing. All right, that's another advantage to try to keep those repair costs low, because you're going to need a licensed contractor, number one, and with the full 203K that gives you more than that, they're going to have to start the job with their own money. Okay, so just so that you know that. And Danny's going to come up later. He's going to talk about construction. He's going to give you a lot of great info too. All right, we're ready. Foreclosure property, because those are the properties that are priced much lower. You're just getting what the bank wants to get, and generally the equity is much more, especially what's called the after repair value. That's the value of the home after you've done all the repairs, and that's how they do the estimate of the appraisal of the home. They go in, they see the home, they compare it to other homes in the area, and this is also something good for you guys to know. When you're looking for a house and you say, hey, you know what, I saw this house in Orange, and I think this house is really good. It's only $100,000, and I think
It's the same thing. The thing you have to figure out is, how do I get in? Okay, but I only got this amount of money, so go to a lower house. Okay, but I only have my credit's back. Okay, then get it fixed. Okay, but I don't want. I want a house in a nicer area. You can't afford that. Hello? So if you can't afford that, you start off somewhere else. How come we do it with everything else? You can't afford Gucci, what you gonna get? Something else, right? You can't afford a Lexus, what you gonna get? A Honda, right? But you don't have that same attitude, and you don't have that same fortitude when it comes to real estate. Oh, I don't want to buy in the hood. But you live in the hood. Oh, but you don't want to buy. Okay, so it's smarter to pay somebody else's mortgage in the hood, but you ain't gonna pay your own. Okay, I never understood that one. But I'm telling you guys, you have to get in where you're successful as a DJ. He already does side parties and makes more money. He already doing deals with Caesar. He has no freaking reason to do this at all, except the fact that the man gives a damn about y'all. Honestly, he gives a damn so much about y'all that at the first seminar, my talk was mainly motivational. You know what he told me? It was good, but I want them to get more meat and potatoes. I want them to know what to do when they leave here. He's so involved in wanting to give you guys exactly what you need, because just like Jennifer was saying, he don't want no excuses. He wants to make more millionaires in the hood. So for that, I want to give him a big round of applause. And that's no bullshit, that's straight up. I want to thank my main man, my mentor, my friend, and everything, Mr. Cesar Pina, aka Flippin' NJ. These are the people that I go to when I need advice and I need everything. Now, I was saying these are the people I go to when I need advice. Now, one thing that you would know about Lucci is this is a business at the end of the day, you know? And when I posted him on Instagram the other day, and he was saying that he picks up all these late fees, people was like, oh my gosh, how does he get late fees? And this is what bothers me about our people, right? If you live in a building on Park Avenue and you don't pay on time, what do they charge you? If you don't pay your mortgage on time, I don't give a fuck if you live in Park Avenue, if you live in Jersey City, if you live in the fucking hood, Newark, what do they charge you? So what's there any difference if he's collecting the late fees? Right? No difference at all. And that's the problem which I don't understand is, yes, we are helping our community, but this is also a business too, because at the end of the day, we're trying to create wealth out of real estate. So these are the type of things that we do. So if somebody's not time, I call him on the 5th and be like, Lucci, where the fuck my money at? And he's gonna say, either I got it, or we're kicking somebody else out. And it is what it is. Now we do help people. We do make sure people are right.
You don't got the bottom yet, show to start this, right?
Yeah, he'll pull up a Starlets on me, but.
So let's, I want you to touch, all right,
Thank you.
So, once you get into commercial, it's not based on comparable sales. It's based on the rental income of the property. That's what happens once you switch over to commercial. It's harder to get commercial deals, but it's bigger money. Once you start dealing with commercial, it's the next level. And this isn't the only building that happened to me where the bank made a mistake. I bought a property from Hubzu, and they had it as a single family, and it was a 6 family. So, it happens.
So, real quick, because I know we kind of rush through the financing and all that stuff, but I want them to really understand exactly what the refinancing means and how you pulled out, because you got to really understand exactly the steps he took to be able to pull that money out and then reinvest. So just break it down for them before we move on to anything else.
So for example, I bought the property with a hard money loan. They gave me the money to finance the property, and to fix the property. And then after that, I fixed the property, I refinanced, and I cashed out, and I go into a conventional loan. Which, now instead of paying 12%, you're down to 4% a month. So that's pretty much the game plan. Like I said before, one of the funny thing is, when I first started, I didn't have anybody to help me. It was just self-knowledge. I learned as I went. Like she said, I don't have a college degree. I don't even have a real estate license. I got a high school diploma, and I got a street education. I'm more street smart than anything. And I just learned as I went. But year number 2, once I learned about leverage, because I didn't know nothing about hard money loans. So every single house, I would put all my money into that house. And so I sold it, I wouldn't have extra money. But that's one of the most important things as you go along. You gotta become the king of leverage. That's it. You gotta leverage your money as much as you can. So this house right here, this is a 10-unit building in Patterson on Market Street. It used to be a pizzeria. So this building, there was an older Italian man. He was selling it to me for $675. And they had a structural issue in the basement. It wasn't nothing crazy. And I told him, bro, give me 50 grand less. I'll give you 6 1/4. He cursed me out and told me not a penny less. I said, all right. So I walked away from the deal. He found a new buyer. In 2 years, they couldn't close. So now I come back to him, and I'm like, He said, oh, I gotta sell the building. I was like, all right, give it to me for $500,000. And I got it for $500,000. So he would have made more money, and then I saved more money. And then after all of that, on this one, I walked away when I did my refinance with, 1 second. I walked away with $500,000. So like I said, as we go along,
What was the value of that?
it ended up appraising for about 1.2. So like I said, it's based on rental income once you get into commercial.
And one thing about Cesar, he has no ego. When it comes to something, he will walk away in a minute. If it's not a good deal, he's not one of those people like, I want this. Not at all. He's like, fuck it, we'll walk away. We'll find something else. That's how he is. I'm more of the, nah, I want this one. He's like, walk away, come back. That's how he is with all his properties. If it's not a good value, if it's not a good deal, he doesn't care how much he loves it, he'll walk away.
That's pretty much, my mentor told me, you want to do a lot of deals, but you don't want to become a deal junkie. So if it's not a good deal, you got to walk away. That's pretty much. And as you see, I started evolving. I became the king of 2, 3, 4 family homes. And then, my mentor, he taught me about commercial. So now I got into commercial eventually. So it steps to everything. But there's so many different things you can do in real estate to make money. So I'm going to end it with this one. I bought this building for $1.8 million. It is 6 storefronts and 24 apartments. I put into it about $400,000. I don't go to the HUD. That's the last one. So in a matter of a year, I went to a lot of different banks, and they looked at me funny. They're like, "Oh, the way that I look," they kind of they weren't that nice.
They're very judgy.
Yeah, like for example, on this deal, I went to. I'm not gonna say the bank, but
Just say the fucking
it was Columbia Bank. I'm about to close on the deal. We got a commitment, right? And they're like, "Yo, you got a criminal record." And I was like, "Yeah." And I was
But
like,
wait, let's break it down a little bit better. We're sitting at the table. The loan is going in my name.
It has nothing to do with me.
It has nothing to do with him. My daughter's sitting next to us, and the guy goes, something really funny came up when we Googled your name. So I had to grab my child. I walked out the room, because it was just, today was the first time I ever publicly said that Cesar went to jail. And the only reason I said it is because he just told his daughter, like our daughter, recently. So I didn't want her to find out from anyone else. I don't want her to find out through Google. So, Cesar told her before anybody else could. So they're very judgy based on the way you dress. Cesar doesn't give a shit. He'll wear his Jordans and sweats to the bank and do a $2 million closing. And he's like, whether you like me or not, you're still going to give me this money.
That's one of the tough things, especially in the banking industry, because once these guys see that you're making a lot of money, like it kind of bothers them.
Haters,
they're only making
back.
40, 70 grand. And they see somebody from an urban area, making $500,000, $800,000 a deal. They're like,
It's killing them.
Yeah, it kills them. It sucks, but that's the reality. I'm not gonna lie to you. So to end up with this deal, at the time when I did this refinance, this is one of my bigger properties, and after I fixed everything and I cashed out, and I said, "See you later, Columbia," I went to a new bank on my refi. I actually told them, give me a line of credit, because the building's worth more than what I bought it for. The reason I got such a good deal in this building was because there used to be 4 Italian guys, and then they each had like 6 to 8 kids. So at the end, after they started passing away, there was like 20-something owners, 24 owners. They couldn't agree on anything. So after I fixed the property, they didn't want to give me a line of credit. I went somewhere else, and on the refi cash out for this one, I walked away with $2 million.
Wow.
Yeah. So